We're going to look at level 3.1, finding endpoints given the midpoint. So in order to find a midpoint, you use the concept of finding the average x and the average y. And the formula is that we add the two x values together, divide by 2. We add the two y values together, divide by 2. We put them in parentheses so that it represents an ordered pair. The abbreviation for the midpoint is over here. The midpoint of point xy is, or the midpoint is, and here's the formula. So if you want to find the missing endpoint, so that means you're given the midpoint in one of the endpoints, then you treat this formula like two different formulas. The midpoint for x is what this one is. The midpoint for y is what this equation is. And then we solve. We plug in our values and we use algebra to solve. So a lot of words that doesn't always make sense. I think that the examples may be more helpful for you. So first of all, if you've been watching in my videos, you know that I like to label. So what the 8 is, it's the midpoint of x. Because we want to find the endpoint if the midpoint is 8, 5. So 8 is mx, and 5 is my, and then one endpoint is at 6, 10. I'm going to call this x1 and y1. So we're going to create two different formulas. So x1 plus x2, I usually just write x, but we can write x2, divided by 2 equals our value of mx, which is 8. So what we do to solve is we need to undo this division. We're going to multiply this side by 2. We're going to multiply this side by 2. Then we get 6 plus x2 equals 8 times 2, which is 16. When we subtract 6 from both sides, we get 16 minus 6 is 10. We do the same thing with the y's here. y1 plus y2 divided by 2 equals 5. The my. Here's the my. We need to undo the division. Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. So we get 10 plus y2 equals 5 times 2, which is 10. And then we subtract 10 from both sides. And we get y2 equals, in this case, 0. So if we want to find the endpoint, we want to lastly write this as an ordered pair, which is the x value of 10 and the y value of 0. As always in this entire unit, I find it helpful to label everything. Try to do a little bit better with my space, but find the endpoint if the midpoint. So this is mx, the negative 6 is mx, the 1 is my, and then one endpoint. So here's x1 and y1. So when we set this up, negative 6 equals, do this a little bit better following exactly this formula right here. Negative 6 equals 9 plus x2 divided by 2. So once again, what we have to do is we have to multiply both sides by 2 to undo this division. So we get 9 plus x2 equals negative 12. We can subtract 9 from both sides. And when we subtract 9 from both sides, we get negative 21 is x2. Same idea with the y's. 1, there's our midpoint. It's the value for the y of the midpoint equals negative 6 plus y2 divided by 2. Multiply this side by 2, multiply this side by 2 to undo that division. 2 times 1 is 2. And we're still left with negative 6 plus y2 over here. And then we can add the 6 to both sides. And we get 8 equals y2. When we finish, we want to write this as an ordered pair. Negative 21, 8. Same idea on our remaining examples here. In fact, I think I will make a new video for examples 3 and 4.